lost him. And you know what? It was just about to get good, too. It was just getting good. We lost
Should
him.
we take the break and maybe he'll call back? I don't know.
You know what? We can take the break, and we can see if Ethan can reconnect with him, because I want to hear where he goes with that answer. I don't know. CJ, I'm just saying, we just started bringing up some deep stuff, and then it gets cut off. Is the Illuminati listening to the show? Just saying.
Welcome back to the show. 3 minutes away from 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock?
That's it. I'm going home.
Dang, man.
See ya.
I wouldn't even be on the air on any of our stations before 8 o'clock. I don't know where that came from. Reading, it's hard.
Well, I think when you have a... I'll say in all candor, when you're in a foreign country and a monkey in a diaper sitting on your head, you're asking for trouble.
Discussion can end there. That's right. Boom. It's a definitive statement on the issue. Now we move on.
So how many times have you thought about that was a bad idea that I had a monkey on my head since you had the monkey on your head?
Every time I go visit Dr. Pellegrino, my personal doctor. Do you know what it's like to tell your doctor that?
Well, yeah, Doc, I also had a monkey. Excuse me? Had a monkey on my head with a diaper on. I bet you that's the first time Dr. Ron has ever heard that one. He's probably heard a lot of things.
He's heard a lot. Yeah, Dr. Ron has.
He's one of the great West Virginians. He's up there from the Northern Panhandle.
He's awesome.
Tremendous.
Yeah, Dr. Ron. Good dude.
We were talking in my office a little earlier, and a phrase that Ryan used that I was really kind of gobsmacked over. He started a sentence with me. He said, "We were watching football on Thursday."
I know, he did the same thing to me. He did this. Is this like Earth 2?
I said, what?
He came back and started telling me about the Cowboys and the Chiefs game.
know,
and you
I
were
know.
watching the Lions game on
Yeah,
Thanksgiving Day.
Well,
What happened? What happened to our little Ryan?
Well, when my Uncle Bill and my Uncle Chris asked if I want to watch football with them, I don't say no.
Okay.
So,
Because I'm not a recluse anymore.
so if you have uncles that are big sports fans, do you get some creds? Are you like, hey, I'm actually you want to kind of sports show, syndicated,
Well, I don't.
statewide?
Well, I don't want this to be a sports show.
Second game this season that Honors had 8 threes. Second time he's had 8 threes, and his coach has pulled him out with over 4 minutes to go.
You're up 40.
Yeah, but coach just does not want to see him get that record.
There may have been a discussion about that on exactly where he was in the number.
Did you let him know this time?
But there was a discussion about where he was with the number. But at the end of the day, Ross decided the juice not worth the squeeze there. With 3.5 minutes left is when he pulled him out after the timeout there. And that's a guy with a lot of minutes on his in his body. You need to rest him. But 2 out of 11, you got to think maybe he's going to approach that again. Here's what's wild. In those 2 games where he's just been one off of Alex Ruoff's record, he's now a combined 16 of 20 from 3 in those 2 games. So he didn't just make 8 threes, guys. He was 8 of 11 last night. He was 8 of 9 when he did it before. 16 of 20 combined in those 2 games.
Across this great state of West Virginia, welcome in high school game nights. I chuckle a little bit, folks, because it said early edition.
As compared to the
Only
rest
edition.
of the edition, yeah.
Yeah. Tonight is going to be interesting, to say the least.
10 seconds remaining.
Going to be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
You had a moment of clarity about when it all started to make sense for you?
It did, because I didn't want to be a filmmaker growing up. I didn't even know what filmmaking was growing up. I used to watch Oprah and Katie Couric, and that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a journalist. Yeah. I wanted to be you. And I worked at West Virginia University's radio station at a very thick accent. People would call in and make fun of me. And so I asked my roommates, my college roommates who are from Baltimore, to teach me how to talk differently.
Really?
Yeah. And it's a loss, I feel, from that. And it's probably one of the reasons why I love documenting people that are authentic. I don't know if I'm authentic, but I think the people I find are very authentically who they are, and that's what draws me to them.
Good morning. Ready to get another week cranked up? This is MetroNews Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios. We're underway.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the MetroNews Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is MetroNews Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set lineup link. Activated telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Cue Dave and TJ. You're on. MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Good morning, gang's all here, ready for another week. Zach Karolchek is our video producer. Sophia Wasik handles the audio side of things today. TJ's in Charleston. I'm here in Morgantown in the Encova Insurance Studios. Thank you for being part of this program. If you're listening in on one of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia, or if you're watching on the MetroNews TV app, you can also watch the show now on Facebook and YouTube as well. 800-765-TALKS, the phone number, 800-765-8255. You can text the show, 304-TALK-304. That is the text line. Brad McElhenney will join us with his Capitol Report coming up second hour. Brad Howell stops by today. Talk a little college football, the national championship on tonight's. Plus, David Goldberg, the chair of the board of directors for the West Virginia Hospital Association, will join us, and we will get into PJM, energy capacity, auctions, data centers. This is where I roll out and let TJ take over. That's coming up bottom of the hour. Say good morning to the aforementioned TJ Meadows in Charleston this morning. Morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Did you see this video? It's on News Nation right now, but it's circulating online over the weekend. A bunch of folks who are protesting ICE, which they have every right to do, but they go into a church. They take over a church service and protest against ICE, saying the congregation of the church isn't doing enough to stand up. I mean, is that where we are in America, Dave? That's the kind of action that's acceptable? You go into a worship service and disrupt it?
Is it where we are? Yes. Is it acceptable? Obviously not.
Yeah.
I did see that. Fox was leading with it. If you were watching Fox News this morning, they were leading with that story. And look, I get it. If you want to protest, you don't like the way, and there's something to be said too about the optics of the whole thing with the way this situation with illegal immigration is being handled. That's a whole conversation, right? You want to protest, fine. You want to get out in the streets, fine. There's no need to interrupt any worship service. I don't care what denomination, what religion. There's no need to do that, and quite frankly, it's despicable and disgusting.
Exactly right, sir. And I have to say, I thought the congregants there displayed remarkable restraint. I don't know that I would have been that forgiving. I would like to think I would, but I don't know that I would have in actuality.
And let me just toss this out. And how many weeks ago has it been? There was a church shooting recently. Within the last several weeks? Given today's climate, and I was thinking about, I always think of these terms, TJ, if they happened here, if that had happened at a different congregation in a different state, for instance, and a bunch of people start storming in the back, right? Because everybody's got their backs are all to the door. That could have ended very poorly. Let me just put it that way. It could have ended very badly.
A Texas ending, if you will?
Yeah, absolutely.
A West Virginia ending, if you will?
A West Virginia ending, sure. Because I know where TJ, I don't know about the congregation you attend, but I know that it's well secured. Let me put it that way.
Ditto.
It's well secured. Again, what was the point? How do you expect people to come over to your side or try to get people to persuade them to understand your argument by doing that? I have just no tolerance for it.
Well, their justification is that the pastor had appeared with Kristi Noem and all these things. Okay, fine. Still no reason to go in and do that. So I digress. I didn't mean to get off on that, but I saw the video, and it really just disappoints me, frankly, that that's acceptable in America today. Oh, throw another comparison out. Can you imagine if other protesters went into a mosque and did that? Protesters who may be advocating for something else went into a mosque and did that?
Then we would have more protests.
I'm just saying.
We'd have
I'm
more
just
protesters.
Saying. Yeah, well, and that wouldn't be acceptable either.
Oh, obviously.
But it's just so disappointing.
All right. One soapbox down, many more to go as the hour
Indeed.
unfolds. We didn't get around to it last week because we had a lot to get to on Friday, but we were talking about the first couple of days of the legislative session. Slow, as you would expect. You got to get people there. Today, it's a holiday. Lawmakers are trickling back in, a little bit slow around the Capitol today. But we were talking first couple of days impression of this year's 26th legislative session, what may be ahead. And I'm curious, what were you thinking as we left there on Thursday and observed Friday? What was rattling around your mind after a couple of days in the Capitol?
Well, I tell you, on Thursday when we left, I'm thinking, okay, we're off to a slow start, as you said. But then it never fails. Here comes some of the knucklehead stuff that people are filing with various bills, especially in the Senate. This one caught my eye. Okay, this is the kind of thing that gets my blood pressure up. Senate Bill 466, defining drugs as adulterated when they contain specific food dyes and additives. Here we go, back to the old food dye bill. And now we're going to say that if those products have dyes in them, they're considered adulterated. What does that mean? What does adulterated mean? Well, under U.S. law, the Food and Drug Administration, adulterated means any drug that's contaminated, improper strength or composition, manufactured improperly, mixed or substituted, expired or degraded. I mean, it wasn't enough last year that we told people what they could and could not eat with dyes, and we tried to force that on folks. We want to go even further into the private sector and now call drugs adulterated and these kinds of things. So, yeah, we're right back to the same old point. Does that create a job? No. Does that bring does that help existing business here? Let's put it that way. No. So here we go. We're right back to some of the knucklehead stuff, and I can cite many more examples, but I don't have time for that. No one wants to hear.
Well, I took a much more optimistic view than that. My personal policy, I'm going to ignore the knucklehead stuff until it actually comes to some sort of fruition where we need to address it. So stuff like that, whatever. You want to introduce it, introduce it. I was slightly more optimistic than you, apparently, because over on the House side, in the first couple of days, we saw the seriousness that the House has for the Jobs West Virginia agenda that Roger Hanshaw and House leadership rolled out back in December. Those bills have already been sent to some of those bills have already been introduced in committee. They're already getting taken up. The wheels are starting to turn there. Also today in the House Health and Human Resources Committee, they're taking up several bills, including the governor's Bring Them Home Act regarding child welfare. I tongue-in-cheek call them Amelia bills. Amelia Nicely, who does such a great job covering child welfare for West Virginia Watch. So those two major talking points, or at least two major priorities that we had discussed heading into the session, things are happening on the House side. Again, the Senate's going to be a factor, an X factor, all session, because we don't know what the agenda is, if there's an agenda over on that side of the Capitol. So you may see more of that, but at least over on the House side, I was cautiously optimistic to see what you're talking about. Bills that pertain to economy, economic development, and this Jobs First agenda, or Jobs West Virginia, I can't remember the exact title, starting to run. So slightly optimistic coming out of the first couple of days.
Well, I join you in your optimism on the House side, but I was hoping we would see more business focused, and maybe we still will, on the Senate side, because last year, let's face it, the House saved the day by killing a lot of the bills that came over from the Senate. And it looks like, at least based on evidence to date, that may be the MO again this year on some of these things. It goes back to that divide in the Senate. We've talked about 2, possibly 3 different factions versus a much more organized House that's focused on putting people to work, putting money in people's pockets, because a job fixes a lot of things. How often have we heard that from Roger Hanshaw? We heard it from Vernon Criss and others. So, look, to your point, yes, ignore the knucklehead. But I do think it carries a little weight that these are the first kinds of bills that are coming out. Anyone can introduce any bill they want. They have the right to do that. They should do that. But when I look at the bill system and I see what's going in on the Senate side, it's more of these populist, right-wing, sticking up for you, easy to do, not going to move the needle type legislation as a whole. And I just think, okay, here we go. Groundhog Day again.
Yeah, I'm holding out hope, at least for the first couple of weeks. My other takeaway, TJ, was there seems to be a lot of skepticism. Not seems to be. There is a lot of skepticism about the governor's proposed income tax reduction, 5%, 10%, whatever it may be. We talked to Vernon Criss, the House Finance Committee chairman, on this show last week. He was very skeptical, I think, is a fair characterization. And we saw more of that skepticism through questions, I think, over on the Senate side when the budget was presented and on the House side when the budget was presented.
I think it is fair to say that there is a level of skepticism. I agree with that. I also think it did not go unnoticed, and I think it soured some folks that the governor called for 10% in a state of the state, yet only funded 5%, and put that onus back on the legislature. That kind of feels to some that I talked to like they were set up to fail. I'm not saying that was the intent, but that's how it was perceived, at least by some in the legislature. So, with that said, to your point, how serious are we about doing this? We've got a lot of stuff we have to do. You just talked about Amelia and childcare. We're going to have to do something with the childcare crisis. School funding formula. Paul Hardesty talked about that Friday on this show, and man, did it get a lot of talk over the weekend. I couldn't go on social media without seeing something from Paul Hardesty or something from the school choice people. Frankly, I'm in the camp. We have to do both, and we can talk about that in a minute. But we have things we have to fund. We have the triggers in place. Those triggers happen if we have economic growth that is tangible, that is real. I don't see it happening. I'm with you. I would be surprised at this point if it happens.
How many times, and this is rhetorical, obviously, how many times did you hear Kansas mentioned last week?
Oh, yeah, man.
There's a lot of there's a cautionary tale about taking too much too quickly. And I got a feeling from at least the guys I talked to last week, they don't want to be Kansas. They don't want to end up Kansas by taking too much too quickly when it comes to reducing the income tax.
Yeah, compared to the governor, well, be bold. Okay, well, all right. If
I
we're
like
bold,
bold.
I like bold.
When you can be bold.
But I'm pretty fiscally prudent and pretty fiscally conservative. And look, I'm the last guy to knock a tax increase. How often do I stand here on this show and talk about the consumption tax and how we need to move to that and we shouldn't tax people's labor? I'm all in on reducing income taxes. But government has certain services that it has to provide, and we have to pay for it somehow. So there has to be some level of taxation.
The other point of optimism, and we'll see where it goes and if anything comes of it, but at least it appears the conversation is going to be had based on talking to Paul Hardesty on the show, the state school board president, on Friday. We're going to have a deep dive into the school aid formula. He indicated that to us on Friday during our conversation that was started with the Hancock County Schools and went on from there. We'll see where that goes, but that's at least a step to have the conversation, talk about this in committee, hopefully soon, about, and I was reading the school aid formula. Boy, it gets complicated. I mean, it's not complicated, but then you start throwing in the weights, TJ. It gets pretty complicated quickly. The 1,400 rules in there. You've got weight for rural counties. You've got weight for counties that can fund more than other counties. Look, something needs to be addressed there. I don't have the answer to what that is, but Paul Hardesty was correct in that we've got declining enrollment. We've got more special ed students. which require more spending to get them the educational services they need, and something needs to be addressed.
Yeah. I mean, look, the formula is made up of inputs. And when you talk about that formula that was last modified, 20 years ago? Am I in the ballpark with that?
I think it's been longer than that.
Longer than that. Okay. When the external variables, the inputs, have changed so much in a 20-plus year period, you have to have tweaks in the formula. So this is long overdue. I don't think anyone would argue about that. I do think that the illustration that Hardesty gave with Cabell County, what did he say, Dave? Roughly just shy of $9 million that they're having to pull out of their savings account, basically, to cover special needs education because they don't get enough funding to do that. 30%, I think he said, roughly on average, 30% of the public school education is now special needs. That number is growing. So as they are losing students, the special ed needs classification is actually going up. Those students cost more to educate than others. It's not making a derogative statement. It's just a fact with the dollars and cents. So how do we account for that? Because eventually those savings accounts that some of the counties have, they run out. Those counties that don't have an excess levy, those counties that don't have rolled over fund balances that are unencumbered that they can use, how do they pay for it? They just run a deficit? I mean, yeah, we've got major issues here, and I think we can do both. I don't think that by addressing the formula and making sure public ed has funding for special education that it somehow diminishes the value of the Hope Scholarship or should cut into the Hope Scholarship. I think you can do both.
304-TALK, 304 is the text line, 800-765-TALK is the phone number. Those are our thoughts from last week. We will be back at the state capitol tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday for live shows from the Rotunda coming up this weekend, well, throughout the rest of the session as well. Up next, UK, not particularly fond of the idea of the U.S. taking over Greenland or using tariffs to do it. We'll get more. We'll check in with Fox News Radio's Jonathan Savage. We're off and running on a Monday morning. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios. Back after this.
We're expanding our ultra-fast fiber network across West Virginia, bringing reliable, lightning-fast internet to more homes every day. With plans up to 10 gig, you'll enjoy unbeatable speed for streaming, gaming, and working from home. And right now, new customers get 50% off any plan for their first year, now as low as $25 a month. No contracts, free installation, local support you can count on. Check availability today at citynet.net. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
Building a stronger West Virginia isn't just a dream, it's a mission. The High Technology Foundation knows economic diversity is the key. For over 30 years, they've been dedicated to transforming the state's economic landscape. Conveniently located in the heart of West Virginia, innovation, growth, opportunity, all under one roof. There's no need to look far for change. It's happening right here at the High Technology Foundation in North Central West Virginia. Visit WVHTF.org to learn more.
Hospitals drive West Virginia's economy. They produce jobs and create opportunities while keeping our communities healthy. Employing nearly 54,000 people, West Virginia hospitals rank among our state's largest and most dependable employers. They provide more than $1 billion in community benefits and generate nearly $17 billion in total economic impact each year. Hospitals are investing where it counts, advancing health, ensuring access to care, and powering West Virginia's economic future.
A message from the West Virginia Hospital Association, online at WVHA.org.
At Glenville State University, we are pioneers. With over 45 undergraduate degree programs, 17 NCAA athletic teams, and countless campus organizations and activities, we're here to help you build your story while becoming a part of ours. Glenville State University. Your dream, your future, your story. Visit glenville.edu today for more information.
The Mountain State's premier fishing, hunting, and outdoor sports show returns to Milan Park in Morgantown March 7th and 8th. Over 100,000 square feet of campers and RVs, boats and ATVs, hunting and fishing supplies, guns, knives, and more. Limited vendor space is now available. To put your products and services in front of over 10,000 outdoor enthusiasts, visit WVOutdoorSportsShow.com. The 24th Annual West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show, presented by Can-Am, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown, a WVRC media event.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Across West Virginia, hospitals are always here, healing, helping, and standing strong for our communities. Hospitals save lives and build livelihoods. They're among our largest employers, with a passionate workforce of 54,000 West Virginians. Hospitals are economic drivers, contributing close to $17 billion to our state's economy and working to ensure access to care for all. From life-saving moments to wellness support, West Virginia hospitals keep our state healthy, our families strong, and our future bright.
It's Toyotathon, and we're determined to make this the best one yet. Starting now, when you purchase any brand new Tundra or Tacoma, you'll drive away with a personalized Dan Cava Yeti cooler. This December, unwrap incredible deals like 2.99% for 72 months on 2026 Tundras. Snow, sleet, or holiday travel, your perfect winter ride is waiting for you. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
Poca Valley has proudly served the citizens of Roane, Kanawha, Putnam, and surrounding counties for over a century. As your trusted community bank, we're committed to building relationships and meeting your financial needs. And with the Poca Valley Visa card, you can enjoy competitive interest rates, no annual fees, and a rewarding points program, all from a bank you know and trust. Visit your local Poca Valley office to apply or call us. Poca Valley, where relationships matter. Member FDIC.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Just got a note, Jonathan Savage is otherwise occupied this morning. That's okay, because coming up next, we're going to get into PJM auctions, capacity, and data centers. And TJ, you write over at WVMetroNews.com this morning. White House governors call out PJM on data center costs. Set this up because, well, it can get very sticky quick when we start getting into PJM, the interconnection, and all the above. So do explain.
Yeah, and this is a very simple analysis. We're going to stay out of the minutia and hit the high points. Here's the high point. These data centers take a ton of electricity to use. And a couple of years ago, one of the data centers, it was an Amazon data center, they wanted to connect directly to a power plant that was already built in Pennsylvania. The problem with that is they didn't want to pay for the interconnection costs to the grid as a backup. They wanted you, John Q. customer, to pay for that. AEP, Exelon, other companies filed a complaint at FERC, and that kind of kicked off this argument in terms of should the everyday ratepayer, should you and I front the capital, share the cost that these developers do not want to pay and do not want to go long-term for? Should we front that cost in order to fund those data centers? Typically in utilities, if you cause it, if you're the cause of the demand, you pay for it. That's the way the system has always worked. What this industry is by and large doing is they want to cut deals. They want to socialize these costs, put them onto ratepayers. And frankly, on Friday, the Trump administration, 13, I don't know if it was 13, it was many of the governors in PJM, our governor included, said, no, you shouldn't do that. And so they want FERC to step in and have FERC mandate to PJM that these data centers will pay their fair share. They'll pay for the demand that they're causing. That's the basic argument, Dave. And frankly, I think it's the fair argument. That's my take and my commentary at WVMetroNews.com. These developers should pay that cost. It shouldn't be socialized to the rest of us.
And that's something that has been brought up by some of the state lawmakers. I know Montague County Delegate Evan Hansen has brought up that concern a couple of times in interviews leading up to the legislative session. So we're going to get into that. What does that mean for ratepayers? What does that mean for West Virginia in recruiting these data centers here? We'll try to tackle some of those questions coming up other side of the break. We'll be joined by, I got to hear my notes, Ethan Howland Ethan Howland going to join us coming up next. A little bit later, Brad Howell stops by. We'll talk some football. Brad McElhenney from the Capitol as well. This is Talkline on Metro News. For 40 years, Metro News has been the voice of West Virginia. It is 10:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening across the great state of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Jeff Jenkins. The state DEP says another pallet of bottled water will be delivered today to the town of Wayne as testing continues on that town's water supply. A fluid got into the water last week after vandalism at the Appalachian Power Company substation in East Glen. You can read more at WVMetroNews.com. The conditions connected to a coal mining death in West Virginia could result in rescue enhancement when the Rolling Thunder mine in Nicholas County filled with water last year, trapping foreman Steve Lipscomb. The state called in a cave diving team to help. Team member Tucker Palmatier, who lives in Greenbrier County, was the first to go in. Palmatier says even though they couldn't find Lipscomb, their attempts could open the door for future partnerships in mine rescue.
Getting this as a capability for future mine rescues, expanding what our initial charter was, which was for caves, to cover mines and to work with the mining credentialing organizations is really important to me.
Lipscomb's body was found after the water level went down. Read more at our website this morning on the efforts. The state is commemorating the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday today. Statewide event today in Charleston, and then they'll be ringing the bell outside the state capitol a little later today. West Virginia State University President Eric Cage is giving that keynote address at the state ceremony. You're listening to Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Brighten your mornings with Tudor's $5 sunrise specials. Enjoy our Mary B, egg, crispy bacon, and cheese on our buttery biscuit, loaded with more bacon than the rest. Or try the Ron, featuring a bigger, hearty sausage patty topped with egg and cheese on a biscuit so delicious you will savor every bite. Each combo comes with crispy hash browns and your choice of coffee or iced tea, all for just $5. Warm up winter mornings with this hot deal. Available for a limited time.
The Mountain State's premier fishing, hunting, and outdoor sports show returns to Milan Park in Morgantown March 7th and 8th. Over 100,000 square feet of campers and RVs, boats and ATVs, hunting and fishing supplies, guns, knives, and more. Limited vendor space is now available. To put your products and services in front of over 10,000 outdoor enthusiasts, visit WVOutdoorSportsShow.com. The 24th Annual West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show, presented by Can-Am, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown, a WVRC media event.
The National Weather Service has advisories and warnings that it will post later today, with temperatures expected to be in the single digits tonight in many areas of the state. Those advisories are for most of the state. The warning is for the eastern mountain counties. Police investigating a bar shooting in Summers County say the victim's injuries were non-life threatening. A woman was shot at the Rock Ridge Bar and Grill near Pipestem early Sunday morning. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Jeff Jenkins.
Text line is 304-TALK 304. Phone number is 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. That's the phone number. Brad Howell will join us coming up. Just saw where the Bills fired their head coach, Sean McDermott. I always wonder about that. If they had won on Sunday, would you have fired him? What game are you going to have to lose to fire your head coach? Anyway.
Fire him after he wins the Super. No, I'm playing.
We'll talk to Brad Howell coming up. A little hoops and college football national championship coming up tonight. Over at WVMetroNews.com this morning, TJ has a commentary. White House governors call out PJM on data center cost. TJ writes, the Trump administration, along with several governors from the Mid-Atlantic PJM region, including West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey, released a proposal aimed at addressing the risk of escalating energy costs tied to data center growth. At its core, the plan seeks to reaffirm a foundational principle of electric rate making. Cost should follow the causers. Ethan Howland works for Utility Drive. He knows more than I do about PJM and energy costs. We'll see if he knows more than TJ. We'll put them up against each other. But Ethan joins us on Metro News Talkline this morning. Ethan, good morning. Glad you could join us.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
Appreciate you coming on. So why is the Trump administration and now these dozen or so governors reacting to a conversation that's kind of been bubbling for a while now?
Like you said, this conversation's been going on maybe for the last year or so around data centers and who should pay for the costs to provide the electricity to them, the costs for the transmission lines, the substations, and those types of equipment that are needed to let these sort of massive hyperscale data centers run.
And what does the industry prefer?
Sorry, TJ, I missed that.
No, I was just saying the data center developers, what is their bent here? What do they want to see?
The data center developers basically want to have electricity. They want to build their facilities as quickly as they can, but they need electricity and they need massive amounts of it. It's really an unprecedented scale, coming rapidly, and they want to hook up to the grid.
So if they hook up to the grid, let's say we get a couple of data centers here in West Virginia, they plug into the grid. How does that affect me, who's just at home, the usual rate-paying customer?
Yeah, so basically the concern for residential customers or anyone, any existing customer is, will you have to pay a share of this, what will be a pretty massive cost for all this infrastructure to serve the data centers? And it's a concern around the U.S., but, in states like West Virginia, just for example, the Public Service Commission, which oversees electric utilities, last year approved a new process for Appalachian Power and Wheeling Power to hook up these companies, the large data centers, in a way that should theoretically avoid shifting costs on to people like you and me.
In terms of what the White House, along with the governors, said, talk to us about this special auction, this idea that only data centers would participate in the auction, and basically they buy it, right? They pay the cost for their capacity. But FERC would have to approve that. So get into the essence of what that auction is meant to do and whether or not the White House can make that happen without FERC approval.
Yeah, so the idea is getting back to this affordability question and making sure that existing customers aren't paying to serve the data centers. So a special auction would be held. The data centers would pay for new power plants to be built, to serve their needs. But like you said, this is just a proposal. It would have to go to the PJM interconnection, which runs the grid in West Virginia and across 13 mid-Atlantic and Midwest states. They would have to turn it into sort of rules, get it approved, sent up to federal regulators, and get it approved by them. So there's quite a process behind this.
Ethan Howland is joining us from Utility Drive, reports on the energy industry. I'm just trying to process all this without getting into the minutia. Two, I'm just a civilian when it comes to energy policy, trying to process this. So for the ratepayer, for the average West Virginian, we passed the microgrids bill last year. Is it better for these large data centers to plug into the grid and pay their share, or is it better for us, and I'm talking about the ratepayer, for them to have their own generation facilities?
Yeah, so that, there are different approaches to how you would handle this. And one of the ideas is you could have data centers basically separated from the grid, and they would have their own power plant. They would pay for everything sort of around their footprint. And that would mean regular ratepayers really wouldn't be affected by them. That's the idea, at least.
Talk to me about this concept, and you've followed utilities for a long time, Ethan. Before the emergence of the data center industry, there's always this this rule that, look, if you cause the demand, you're the one that has to pay for the infrastructure. And now, if there's already excess infrastructure, great, then you're taking a burden off of other people. But the industry, being data centers, they seem to want to flip that. And I don't know that that's ever happened before. And I think it's one of the reasons people are so up in arms about this.
Yeah, again, I think that just goes back to the kind of unprecedented nature of the size of these data centers, and the how suddenly this has kind of come up on us. So, like you said, there's a general rule with rate making, trying to figure out who pays for all this stuff. The folks who cause a transmission line to be built or a power plant to be built should pay for it. And I think the political reality is the data center companies themselves now completely understand that they should be paying for this stuff. I think part of the opposition data centers have been facing in various parts of the country is this issue of, hey, we don't want to pay, for your costs. So I think generally speaking, the data center, the big companies, the Amazons, the Metas, they're pretty amenable to trying to do whatever they can to pay for all the costs they cause. The only thing is that it's actually quite complicated. It's not as easy as it sounds. Like when you're building out transmission lines and other equipment, figuring out exactly who pays for all that can be pretty tricky.
Ethan Howland is joining us from the Utility Drive. I was just kind of chuckling to myself, trying to figure that out, because I could see their argument. I could see the data center developers going, yes, we will pay for something, but it's not our responsibility to build your power. It's not our responsibility to build the power plant that is also going to send electricity to, Pocahontas, kind of all these houses around here. So I can see the argument from the other side.
Yeah, for sure. There's the argument that if, the transmission line is going to benefit all of us, a new power plant will benefit not just the data center, but other folks as well. And sort of normally that's probably true. Again, I just point to the size of these things. Just, for example, we're talking about 1,000 megawatt data center, like Allegheny Power in the summer on a hot day when it's serving all of its customers, their peak load is 3,000 megawatts. So you've got a 1,000 megawatt data center suddenly popping up on a system that at its like maximum peak is 3,000 megawatts. And you can see how that, I guess the scale of that is pretty massive.
Another part of this, if we build all of this generation and data centers don't show up, if all this load doesn't come to fruition, somebody's going to get stuck with the cost. So talk about that part of it.
Yeah, that's a major concern. That was one of the concerns state regulators, ratepayer advocates have been having. And so this is going back a while, but back in the late 1990s and early 2000s, when the internet was just getting going, people thought, oh, we're going to need massive amounts of power plants to run the internet and everyone's computers. So they built a lot of power plants, and it turned out we didn't need all of those power plants. So people had to pay for them. There were bankruptcies, and that saga, I think, is on people's minds now. What if we build massive transmission lines and power plants and the data centers don't show up? Who's going to pay for this? So a lot of states, including West Virginia, have been looking at rules to make sure that the data center company, or what they call large loads, are sort of on the hook for anything that gets built to serve them in a way to protect everyone, all of the regular ratepayers.
He's Ethan Howland with Utility Drive. It is complicated, it is complex, but it is a reality as we move into I guess we're already in the 21st century. As we move forward in the 21st century. Ethan, appreciate the insights today. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Brad Howell joins us next.
Thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan.
The health plan is still growing, giving you a large network of doctors, friendly and helpful customer service representatives, and competitive, flexible pricing plans that meet your needs. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
Principal Greg Dosh of MTech.
Thanks to funding in part from West Virginia Lottery proceeds, we're expanding MTech with a new STEM edition.
Across West Virginia, opportunities like these are made possible when you play, helping to ensure more students can discover their future right here at home. For 40 years, proceeds from the West Virginia Lottery for education have totaled $4.1 billion. West Virginia Lottery, 18 plus to play responsibly.
Since 1926, the West Virginia Hospital Association has been the collective voice of our state's hospitals, with a shared vision of strengthening communities, improving lives, and supporting our state's economic well-being. Our member hospitals work every day to provide high-quality, accessible care. This year, we celebrate 100 years of a unified voice and our ongoing commitment to supporting our members in achieving a strong, healthy West Virginia.
A message from the West Virginia Hospital Association, online at wvha.org.
You're listening to Talkline on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at wvhtf.org.
Across West Virginia, hospitals are always here, healing, helping, and standing strong for our communities. Hospitals save lives and build livelihoods. They're among our largest employers, with a passionate workforce of 54,000 West Virginians. Hospitals are economic drivers, contributing close to $17 billion to our state's economy and working to ensure access to care for all. From life-saving moments to wellness support, West Virginia hospitals keep our state healthy, our families strong, and our future bright.
It's Toyotathon, and we're determined to make this the best one yet. Starting now, when you purchase any brand new Tundra or Tacoma, you'll drive away with a personalized Dan Cava Yeti cooler. This December, unwrap incredible deals like 2.99% for 72 months on 2026 Tundras. Snow, sleet, or holiday travel, your perfect winter ride is waiting for you. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
Poca Valley has proudly served the citizens of Roane, Kanawha, Putnam, and surrounding counties for over a century. As your trusted community bank, we're committed to building relationships and meeting your financial needs. And with the Poca Valley Visa card, you can enjoy competitive interest rates, no annual fees, and a rewarding points program, all from a bank you know and trust. Visit your local Poca Valley office to apply or call us. Poca Valley, where relationships matter. Member FDIC.
Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
The Lotto America jackpot starts at $2 million and grows until someone takes it home. Drawings happen every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And with 9 ways to win, even the smaller prizes can feel like a big win. Just $1 to play in-store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Current jackpot is $13.09 million. Get your chance at manageable millions. Joining us on Metro News Talkline this morning, you can find him on 3 Guys Before the Game, Metro News Sports Line, 5 Good Minutes with Brad Howell. Brad, good morning.
Good morning, fellas. How are we?
Doing well. Greg Carey's got a story over at WVMetroNews.com about Trace and our Eagle staff really starting to settle in and become more comfortable in this WVU program, and you could see that in the win over Colorado this weekend.
Yeah, I agree. I thought he was really good. But Dave, this has been coming. You could see this building over the last 5 or 6 games as he's become more comfortable with what his role is in the offense. And again, we've been talking about this since the summer when it was a guy in Trayson that came in with so much acclaim because of the big scoring games he had last year. But one of the reasons he came here was he knew this staff would help him become a more well-rounded player for the next level, whatever that may be, NBA, G League, or overseas. And he's really done that. He's become one of the best defenders on this team. He's one of the best rebounders. He can handle the ball. He can distribute the ball. The last thing to come along was the offensive part of his game, and part of that is because he's not in a system anymore where he has to shoot it 25 times a game. He's trying to fit in with some other great players, including Honor Huff. I think now what you're seeing is Trayson understands it. He understands his role, and now you're starting to see his skills be able to shine through.
Brad, give us your thoughts on the evolution of this team as the season has progressed, where we are and what we still need to work on.
Yeah, getting better, and you figured it would. And, guys, I think we underrate, as West Virginia fans, how difficult this has been over the last 4 years, but really 3 in particular, as you have turned a roster over completely every year, and that is just so hard to do. And mix that in with yet another new coaching staff that is teaching new ideas. And again, it's really intricate systems. It's a different way to play defense than these guys have ever had to play before, save for Jasper Floyd and Brennan Lorient, who have been with Ross before. Offensively, it's a different style of play than what they're used to as well. So there's a huge learning curve in this, and I think you're starting to see this team get better. And I think the way Ross describes it is really a good way to look at it. They're trying every game to get to the point where their offense and defensive systems and results are better for a longer stretch of time. We've seen it for stretches, and that's led to the 3 conference wins. But we've seen it also not be there, and that's led to the stretches against the elite teams in Iowa State and Houston where they really put it on you in those streaky runs. And so I think this is a team that continues to get better. But listen, this league is unforgiving. You're going to go on the road here and play an Arizona State team that record-wise doesn't look very good. You start to dig into some of their numbers and who they've played already, and this is going to be another test when the Mountaineers head to Tempe on Wednesday.
Metro News Sports, Brad Howell joining us here on Talkline. Brad, it's a bittersweet day for guys like you and me. It's the national championship for college football. It's the last college football game until the end of August. What do you like tonight, Indiana and Miami?
Fascinating matchup. Just what Indiana's done with Kurt Cignetti over the last 2 years is truly incredible. One of the worst football programs over the last century or so has now been back-to-back playoffs and is on the precipice of a national title tonight. Just amazing. So excited to watch that. Unfortunately, there's a lot of West Virginia connections all over this, but we don't see the Mountaineers in the national championship. Akeem Mesidor, one of the best defenders for Miami, will be in this game, so keeping an eye on that. But what a story it would be if Indiana can complete this run and cap it off with a natty.
And Miami's back. We're a bunch of 90s, 80s, 90s guys. Miami's back, Brad.
Well, they are. And again, Dave, thanks to the Mountaineer connections, their best offensive player is a son of former WVU wide receiver Antonio Brown. So, as we always say, always a West Virginia connection.
Give me 1 or 2 things you think Cignetti has done that just sets him apart to attribute the success that he's had at Indiana.
TJ, it's a great question, and I don't know that I have a great answer. I've read everything people have put out about him over the last couple of weeks, and I don't know that I have a great answer for that. Certainly, their NIL has helped. That's probably an underreported story about Indiana taking some of that Big Ten money and donor money. But They have just done a great job in evaluation is what it looks like. And we can talk about the Saban influence all you want, but at the end of the day, you've got to produce yourself here. It can't just be about the process and all those buzzwords. I think they've done, from the outside looking in, a great job at evaluation. So not only do they have the money and the resources to go get guys, but they've hit on all of their guys, specifically at the offensive line positions, and then therefore at the quarterback position. So if I had to boil it down, again, outside looking in, obviously don't follow them every day, their evaluation and getting really good players in there has certainly paid dividends.
Metro News Sports, Brad Howe. You can find him on Three Guys Before the Game and most of the time over on Metro News Sports Line 606 to 9 on many of these same Metro News radio stations. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Back to wrap up hour number 1 in a moment.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZMM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZMM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
On January 23rd, our students, faculty, and staff will talk with lawmakers at the annual Fairmont State University Day at the Capitol. We'll share with them our substantial contribution to the region's economic development. Did you know that for every dollar Fairmont State receives in state appropriations, we generate over $8 in economic impact? Last year alone, we generated $170 million in total economic impact for West Virginia. Fairmont State University never rests when it comes to making West Virginia a great place to call home.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I have had a complicated relationship with food. My job was to talk to heart failure patients about diet and exercise. I felt like, why would you listen to me? Because I was not following a diet that was healthy for me. I needed help. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 175 pounds. I feel like I'm free. They hold the skill, they hold the tools, and they're waiting for you to come say that you need the help.
Trojan Landing Marine is now Charleston's newest power sports dealership.
We now feature a full line of sleek Suzuki street bikes and four-wheelers. We're now offering the innovative riding experience of Benda motorcycles. The next step in motorcycle evolution with all-electric Zero high-performance bikes. We've now got Segway vehicles starting as low as $10,000. Come in and check out our great selection of high-quality Benelli and Royal Enfield bikes. Visit Trojan Landing in Charleston, now your water, road, and dirt dealership.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown! Stike Wealth Enhancement Group is now Wealth Enhancement. And we craft detailed financial plans for people like you because you're building your retirement your way. You deserve advice that's built to handle what your life brings. To meet with your Stike team advisor, call us at 304-443-4240 or email stike-info@wealthenhancement.com.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
West Virginia.
Second hour, Metro News Talkline on the way. David Goldberg will join us. He is the chair of the board for the West Virginia Hospital Association. We'll talk to him about the economic impact of hospitals across the state of West Virginia. And we'll have Brad Square today. McElhenney will join us from the Capitol, find out what's happening at the state legislature. Believe day 6 of 60 underway today. Text line is 304-TALK-304. Phone number is 800-765-8255. We'll get to your thoughts coming up in hour number 2. This is MetroNews Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios on Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. Lost him. And you know what? It was just about to get good, too. It was just getting good. We lost
Should
him.
we take the break and maybe he'll call back? I don't know.
You know what? We can take the break, and we can see if Ethan can reconnect with him, because I want to hear where he goes with that answer. I don't know. CJ, I'm just saying, we just started bringing up some deep stuff, and then it gets cut off. Is the Illuminati listening to the show? Just saying.
Welcome back to the show. 3 minutes away from 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock?
That's it. I'm going home.
Dang, man.
See ya.
I wouldn't even be on the air on any of our stations before 8 o'clock. I don't know where that came from. Reading, it's hard.
Well, I think when you have a... I'll say in all candor, when you're in a foreign country and a monkey in a diaper sitting on your head, you're asking for trouble.
Discussion can end there. That's right. Boom. It's a definitive statement on the issue. Now we move on.
So how many times have you thought about that was a bad idea that I had a monkey on my head since you had the monkey on your head?
Every time I go visit Dr. Pellegrino, my personal doctor. Do you know what it's like to tell your doctor that?
Well, yeah, Doc, I also had a monkey. Excuse me? Had a monkey on my head with a diaper on. I bet you that's the first time Dr. Ron has ever heard that one. He's probably heard a lot of things.
He's heard a lot. Yeah, Dr. Ron has.
He's one of the great West Virginians. He's up there from the Northern Panhandle.
He's awesome.
Tremendous. Yeah, Dr. Ron. Good dude.
We were talking in my office a little earlier, and a phrase that Ryan used that I was really kind of gobsmacked over. He started a sentence with me. He said, "We were watching football on Thursday."
I know, he did the same thing to me. He did this. Is this like Earth 2?
I said, what?
He came back and started telling me about the Cowboys and the Chiefs game.
I know.
And you were watching the Lions game on Thanksgiving Day.
Well,
what happened? What happened to our little Ryan?
Well, when my Uncle Bill and my Uncle Chris asked if I want to watch football with them, I don't say no.
Okay.
So, because I'm not a recluse anymore.
So if you have uncles that are big sports fans, do you get some creds? Are you like, hey, I'm actually kind of a sports show? It's syndicated.
Well, I don't.
Statewide.
Well, I don't want this to be a sports show.
Second game this season that Honors had 8 threes. Second time he's had 8 threes, and his coach has pulled him out with over 4 minutes to go.
You're up 40.
Yeah, but coach just does not want to see him get that record.
There may have been a discussion about that on exactly where he was in the number.
Did you let him know this time?
But there was a discussion about where he was with the number. But at the end of the day, Ross decided the juice not worth the squeeze there. With 3.5 minutes left is when he pulled him out after the timeout there. And that's a guy with a lot of minutes on his in his body. You need to rest him. But 2 out of 11, you got to think maybe he's going to approach that again. Here's what's wild. In those 2 games where he's just been one off of Alex Ruoff's record, he's now a combined 16 of 20 from 3 in those 2 games. So he didn't just make 8 threes, guys. He was 8 of 11 last night. He was 8 of 9 when he did it before. 16 of 20 combined in those 2 games.
Across this great state of West Virginia, welcome in high school game nights. I chuckle a little bit, folks, because it said early edition.
As compared to the
Only
rest
edition.
of the edition, yeah.
Yeah. Tonight is going to be interesting, to say the least.
10 seconds remaining.
Going to be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
You had a moment of clarity about when it all started to make sense for you?
It did, because I didn't want to be a filmmaker growing up. I didn't even know what filmmaking was growing up. I used to watch Oprah and Katie Couric, and that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a journalist. Yeah. I wanted to be you. And I worked at West Virginia University's radio station at a very thick accent. People would call in and make fun of me. And so I asked my roommates, my college roommates who are from Baltimore, to teach me how to talk differently. Really? Yeah. And it's a loss, I feel, from that. And it's probably one of the reasons why I love documenting people that are authentic. Like, I don't know if I'm authentic, but I think the people I find are very authentically who they are, and that's what draws me to them.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Second hour, MetroNews Talkline. Hope you're having a good start to your Monday. Many of you getting a day off. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. A lot of events planned around the state of West Virginia today. No school, government offices all closed for the day. We'll be back at the state capitol tomorrow, broadcasting live from the Upper Rotunda Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this week as the legislative session continues. We'll get an update from the state capitol. Brad McElhenney will join us coming up bottom of the hour. Get to your calls, texts, and tweets as well. 800-765-TALKS, the phone number, 304-TALK, 304, the text line, for your opportunity to weigh in. Say good morning once again, TJ Meadows down in the Charleston Encova Insurance Studios. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Who you got, Indiana or Miami?
Oh, I'm taking Indiana.
Me too. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, we can move on.
I mean, look, being a guy who grew up, as a millennial, the U was. Do you remember when they were at their height? Jimmy Johnson, Michael Irvin, Ray Lewis, Warren Sapp. Those teams came through. Then you had the early 2000s, and like a whole generation did not understand the significance of Miami football. So it's cool that they're back, but Indiana's a cooler story. Kurt Signetti, Morgantown guy, graduated from Morgantown High, so you got that connection. Indiana's been terrible. I mean, it's a basketball. It's Indiana. It's basketball, right? Opportunity there. So, and they're really good. They're really good.
Signetti has the best camera stare I think you're ever going to see.
It's kind of frightening, isn't it?
It is kind of frightening. It's like he can peer into your eyes. It's like, I see you even though I can't see you. It is a little unnerving. It's like to be in a job interview with that guy.
Oh, no. Nope. Wouldn't want to do it.
Me either.
Wouldn't want to do it. National championship coming up tonight. That'll be the end of the college football. Then we can start counting down kickoff to the start of the 2026 college football season.
There you go.
David Goldberg is the Executive Vice President with Vandalia Health. He heads up the Mon Health system based out of Morgantown. He penned an op-ed last week discussing the hospital factor in West Virginia's economic future. Joining us on MetroNews Talkline is David Goldberg. Also serves as chair of the West Virginia Hospital Association Board of Trustees and friend of the program. David, good morning. Good to talk to you again.
Good morning, gentlemen, and you're 2 for 2. I'll round you out and be 3. I can't imagine Indiana isn't going to win, and they're well-deserving. What a storied year.
Incredible. Look, it's an incredible story. That's what we root for. At least that's what I root for, is the content, David. That's an incredible story. I like the content of Indiana winning. So let's talk about some content. West Virginia hospitals and how they play a role in the state's economic future. So give us the broad overview here, David, because one, hospitals are a major employer across the state. Two, they're a major factor when we start talking about the economic health of West Virginia.
Couldn't agree with you more. And I penned this with thanks with Tony Gregory with the staff as the chair of the Hospital Association. So I'm wearing three hats in this conversation. Back in December, I went to the West Virginia Chamber of Commerce board meeting, which I'm a member of, and they showed all the areas of industry that are growing and not growing. And it kind of, I've known this, but it blew me away that the one industry in the state of West Virginia over the last 5 years that's grown in employment are our hospitals in the medical field across the state of West Virginia. We have more than 54 to 57,000 employees across the state taking care of 1.7 or 1.8 million people. We've grown every year in healthcare jobs as technology improves, as the ways you treat people have improved, as more locations have been added across the state to improve access. So have we, from an employment perspective, the number one, the number two, and then number three spots of your leading employers in the state are your large three systems, and then you have your independent hospitals that are the beacons of the economic health and access for community health in and around West Virginia.
Talk to us a little bit about the financial pressures. You mentioned those in your piece. They're not going away. I don't know how we fix the payer mix, frankly. Maybe you have the idea.
There's a lot to it. We're 75% or greater governmental payer, meaning Medicare, Medicaid, and the public employee insurance program. Those are what we know. There's been, and I applaud the governor and the legislature related to the Rural Health Transformation Grant that was announced a few weeks back and continues to roll out from the federal government to the state. But those are program dollars. I hope the listeners and our stakeholders here, they don't replace the almost $1 billion in reduction in the Medicaid program that we're going to see in West Virginia over the next decade. That's a huge change. Do we have opportunity within our economy and within the budgets to reduce? Yes. Work requirements are being put in place related to Medicaid later this year. So we're going to see people who relied on Medicaid for their pay insurance, they're going to drop off and have to re-justify applicability or eligibility for Medicaid. But your hospitals are going to get the lion's share of people who present who might not have insurance already when we have less than, on average, 2% margins for our hospitals. 60% or more of your hospital is a labor cost issue. We pay nurses, doctors, information technology people, anyone in the spectrum that you go to a hospital or a physician's clinic to see rightfully deserve a competitive wage. But when you're 75% Medicare and Medicaid, it makes it hard. But we need to do that to get the best talent here to take care of the residents in and around the state.
David Goldberg is joining us as chairman of the Board of Trustees for the West Virginia Hospital Association. This is much easier said than done, but is the answer, David, economic growth outside the hospital industry? And what I mean is, to fix the payer mix system, is it more private industry, more jobs, more employers, more people that balances out the payer mix a little bit?
It definitely helps. But what we don't want to see is put too much of a burden on the private business to consider West Virginia and say, my gosh, I'll come there. But all of a sudden, the cost for me to insure or cover the health benefit for an employee will go up too much that it prices them out of the market. We got to reduce overutilization. And when I say that, we need to make sure people have access to a primary care home, a primary care office, rather than using your emergency rooms for primary care. In some communities, that's all they have. And that's what we do as hospitals. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So, yes, the payer mix to bring in will definitely help. We also have to reduce over-testing, over-prescribing, and make sure people are getting what they need in the right, what I call site of care, meaning if you're feeling a little blue, my daughter today is unfortunately home with flu A, she went to urgent care. She doesn't need to go to the hospital emergency room. Now, if she's really, really sick and that's the only place you can go, you go. But that's more costly to take care of her in the emergency room than in the urgent care that can do, in many cases, the same. And getting into a primary care office so they can manage your health care through the complex system we've built. Rather than I have pain in my back, I'm going right to an orthopedist. start with your primary care doctor. They may send you for physical therapy. There's a lot of things that can happen to reduce the cost and get people more healthy. The biggest is we all own so much of our healthcare outcome. If I'm a tobacco user, you're going to be prone potentially for more ailment. If I'm overweight, I'm owning it this year. I'm dry January, no caffeine, and I'm exercising again. Those are things I can control within my diet and my attitude and my personality and my outcomes to make me a little bit healthier so I don't tax my employer and tax the healthcare system.
You talk about the one big beautiful bill. In that graph, you say the uncertainty surrounding these federal changes demands careful, measured decision-making at the state level, not further disruption. What does that look like? What exactly are you getting at there?
So the wonderful grant that we're getting doesn't replace the $1 billion shortfall that's coming from Medicaid reductions. First, and say that. A lot of them are program dollars where we talk about food and nutrition and a host of other public health opportunities to change the trajectory of our state from being more sick to hopefully getting more well. But when our legislative colleagues come back into session and they look at regulations, we need to be very careful that they don't put too much more burden on your hospitals already struggling to keep up, already struggling to employ and take care of the people around the community, that we don't put too much burden on an already fragile system. That's number one. Number two, like I said, we need to do better in our medical offices and our doctors and our health departments, already interacting with people in and around the community. We need to identify what's wrong with them or whether there's opportunity to help them now and reduce the anxiety and the costs that they're already bringing in by not taking care of their potential health issues or diagnosis. And three, most importantly, again, we need our federal delegation working with President Trump to fix what the beautiful bill did. It wasn't beautiful for healthcare. Dave Ramsey, the CEO of Vandalia Health, said that at the business summit this summer. $1 billion in reduction means services and the way we take care of people today are going to change if level minds don't step in and change that sweeping reduction and be more thoughtful.
David Goldberg is joining us. He's chair of the West Virginia Hospital Associations. He's also an executive vice president for Vandalia Health. He's got about 13 other titles he's got on his business card as well. David, you were talking about not going to the emergency room. If you're back pain, you got the sniffles, you're not feeling well. What are the biggest hurdles in front of West Virginia for having primary care offices or urgent care offices in some of our rural areas?
First, that they're there. Some of our communities may not have quick access to a primary care office or a physician's office. I mean, when you look at the map, as I do regularly, we have lots of access points for people to go to. I don't want my comment about not going to an emergency room to be taken the wrong way. We are open 24/7, 365. If you aren't feeling well and don't have access, come. We'll get you where you need to be, and we'll refer you for follow-up to primary care or orthopedics or to cardiology or whatever services that would be. But we have a lot of people who don't have insurance. They're going to go right to the emergency room because that's the one federal mandate is that we provide access to people in an urgent emergent situation. We want to do that, and that is our mission, is to take care of our community. But not everyone needs to go right to the emergency room for their first entry into healthcare. We want to get you into a primary care home. We want to be able to take care of you from there and help you navigate through the system. It's less costly for you to go to a primary care office than the emergency room for tests and treatment. And an ER is typically a one-stop. You go there for your urgent, emergent issue, and then you leave. In your primary care, they can follow you through the journey of your health journey.
Let me ask you a very blunt question. That federal mandate, this is going to sound insensitive. I don't mean it that way. Should we reevaluate that to say, look, if you have the sniffles, you're going to have to wait until you can get to a primary care physician on Monday. We're not going to take you in. Now, if you're in a car wreck or something, that's one thing, obviously. But should we look at that mandate? Because to your point, you have to take everyone, I would imagine, no matter what kind of an emergency it is. So should we keep those less, those lesser issues, I guess, for lack of a better way to say it? Should we reevaluate and keep those out of the mix?
A lot of us ask that question a lot, and we talk with public policy leaders. I think it's a slippery slope because I could right now saying I have a bad stomach ache. I'll go to urgent care or I'll wait. You could have the first sign of a heart attack as that's starting. My chest hurts. I think it's anxiety. It could be a heart attack. So I don't want to be the one to tell someone go to primary care or urgent care rather than the ER, because you don't know what the underlying condition is. But I could tell you many private employers, I can't speak to your insurance, but I could speak to mine. I have a copay responsibility to go to the emergency room that's slightly higher than going to urgent care or primary care. Now, I'm going to go where I need to go, where I feel the sickest, and I'm going to pay what I need to pay. But some of those stresses in access and cost do impact overall. I could tell you post-COVID, ER volumes across the state have been coming down for the most part, because I think people are going back to the routine of going to the urgent cares or going to primary care. And unfortunately, we have some people who just don't go at all, and that worries me for them, that are going undiagnosed and untreated, which later will cost the healthcare system more.
He's David Goldberg. He's chair of the West Virginia Hospital Association, executive vice president for Vandalia Health, friend of the program. David, good to talk to you again, and I expect we'll see you in Charleston at some point this session.
Look forward to it. Thanks for all you're doing, gentlemen.
Absolutely. David Goldberg, he's chair of the Board of Trustees for the West Virginia Hospital Association. Brad McElwain, he joins us bottom of the hour. We'll get an update from the state capitol. Your text messages are coming up next.
The WVU Medicine Medical and Surgical Weight Loss Center offers a comprehensive surgical program to help you obtain a healthy weight and improve your quality of life. Our nationally recognized bariatrics program has a strong focus on pre-surgery education and long-term weight loss after surgery. We're here to help you every step of the way. Reserve your spot at the next free, no-obligation information session by calling 304-293-1728.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan.
The health plan is still growing, giving you a large network of doctors, friendly and helpful customer service representatives, and competitive, flexible pricing plans that meet your needs. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
Located in the heart of West Virginia, Bridgeport is the place to play. Endless indoor and outdoor recreation opportunities, including the Bridgeport Complex, coupled with a dynamic food scene, make Bridgeport the perfect getaway destination for couples and families. Explore unique shopping and pick from a wealth of lodging options to find something perfect for your needs. Explore the heart of West Virginia in Bridgeport. Learn more about all there is to do at greater-bridgeport.com.
You're listening to Talkline on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone.
Coming to the Beckley Convention Center, Saturday 23rd and 24th. Who are the toughest men and women in the state of West Virginia? Watch Tough Man live on MetroNews Television to find out. Featured fights, top 5 finishes, and event archives. Download MetroNews Television on iPhone, iPad, Android, Roku, LG TV, Apple TV, Fire TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Find out more at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
Come to Dan Cava GMC this holiday season and find a truck built for every winter moment. From the GMC Canyons that are now up to $2,500 off to the 2,500 GMC Sierras that are now up to $5,000 off, and the Sierra 1500s that are now up to $10,000 off. We've got the winter-ready trucks that your family can count on. Come see us today at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
It's high school basketball season, and MetroNews Television has you covered. Rivalries, buzzer beaters, classic hardwood competition. Watch live and on demand from gyms across the Mountain State. Stream MetroNews Television on your iPhone, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select smart TVs. Or visit MetroNewsTV.com for more information. High school basketball lives here on MetroNews Television.
Brad McElhenney, bottom of the hour. 800-765-TALK's the phone number. 800-765-8255. 304-TALK. 304 is the text line. Governor Morrissey announcing this morning that Frontieras North America has closed on 183 acres in Mason County, where the company will build a flagship $850 million advanced coal reformation facility that's expected to create more than 2,000 construction jobs and over 200 full-time positions. The governor did a little video on X this morning to make that announcement in Mason County. Frontieras, I believe. Frontieras? North America closing on 183 acres in Mason County. So the governor, he was teasing that earlier this morning on social media, made that announcement earlier this morning.
Then you have Senator Jim Justice posting on X a few minutes ago, offering his congratulations, but posting the announcement from 2022 when his administration announced Frontieras coming to West Virginia.
You think there's a little rivalry there?
Dude, it is not going away. It is not going away, and it just feeds into this narrative of whether or not Justice wants to be governor again, keeping his options open. And look, credit matters in politics. As much as they say, oh, it doesn't matter who gets the credit. Bunk. It absolutely matters because they want to run on it.
Well, good for – you know what? Hey, Mason County, buddy, don't you wish you had bought some worthless land in Mason County about 5 years ago?
Yeah, man. Because
that's about to be the epicenter of West Virginia.
Yeah, well, the Ohio River plays such a big part in this, too. A lot of these companies have water needs, so you've got that. You have rail access. I will say this, too. You know, Apple Grove, where they're doing Nucor, that was already site developed. Utilities were there, all those fun things. So what a success story in that. I will say, though, there's this mentality of hunting versus farming that I think is being talked about at the legislature. And here's what I mean by that. Hunting is going out. Hunting is putting your connections together, going out, pitching the state, and having a whiteboard. And you're just going after people and you're chasing them to make a deal happen. Mm-hmm. And then there's farming. That's cultivating something that is already happened and moving it forward. And that juxtaposition matters because that's the juxtaposition that's being created in this political debate, like we see with these two announcements. Justice wants to position himself as the hunter, and he's trying to position Morrissey, right or wrong, as the farmer. People can decide who's who, but that's what people are talking about when you hear up at the legislature. Well, we're not out doing economic development. Those people who are hunters say we're no longer hunting. I'm not saying they're right. I'm not saying Governor Morrissey is right. I'm just giving people the lay of the land and how the argument is being framed.
304-TALK. 304 is the text line. 800-765-8255 is the phone number. Can't we just do both? Can't we hunt and farm?
You absolutely have to do
meat
both.
And potatoes here?
You absolutely have to do both to be successful. One is about new. One is about net new in the business world. I'll give you that. The other one is about retention. But you have to do both.
And you bring up the Ohio Valley, and I am a mid-Ohio Valley guy, specifically growing up. TJ, there are site-ready or sites that are pretty darn close to being ready all up and down the valley, where there were former plants that have closed and the sites are now ready for redevelopment. I look at Weirton Steel. That is a site that has river rail access. It has infrastructure already built in. And I can think of several others as you go up and down the valley where there used to be a plant there, and then now it's closed and moved on and ready for redevelopment. So who was it we had on the show said the first key to economic development is, move the Ohio River to your county?
Who was that? Oh, it was the Senate president, I believe.
Oh, yeah, it was Randy Smith, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Randy Smith. But he's right. River, rail, utilities,
you
roads,
have all that right up and down the valley.
Yeah.
Up and down the valley.
And honestly, for West Virginia, it's relatively flat, too.
Yes. You're down in the river valley. That's the only flat land we have.
Yeah.
All right, let me get a couple of texts in here before Brad joins us bottom of the hour. Great to see Mitch Carmichael's success is continuing from the Justice Administration. Great job, Mitch, and help landing Frontieras. Dave and TJ, we've got to get back to some common sense living. Take better care of ourselves. One way is by watching what you are putting in your body, says the texter. Yeah, we didn't have time to get into it with Dave Goldberg there, but preventative medicine is what he's a part of that. Going to the doctor, not having to go to the ER, not waiting until, your arm's fallen off to go get things checked out.
Fair point.
Please tell me how having a day off school helps in the memory of a celebrated person in our country. Schools should have a day of history classes on that given day. Sleeping in or shopping makes a young person uneducated to have dialogue on a historical event of our 250 years of history that got us to where we are. Brad McElhenney never takes a day off. He joins us from the state capitol coming up next. We'll find out what's going on or what's not going on at the state capitol today. We'll get more of your text in as well, 304-TALK-304. This is Talkline from the Acova Insurance Studios on Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening across the great state of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News. I'm Chris Lawrence. Governor Patrick Morrisey earlier today announcing plans by Frontiers North America to locate in Mason County. The company says it would use its new fast form technology to convert coal into a variety of carbon-based products like fuel, fertilizer, and material that can be used in the steel industry with zero waste.
We're looking at a new facility that will likely have over 2,000 construction jobs and 200 permanent jobs in its first phase.
That was Morrissey from a video released earlier today. However, former Governor Jim Justice made a very similar announcement back in 2022 about Frontiera's plans to locate in Mason County and use its fast form technology. At the time, the plans were to have the construction complete by 2023. The West Virginia DEP is involved in a cleanup of 4,900 gallons of non-PCB fluid that leaked from an Appalachian Power substation in Wayne County. The incident at an Appalachian Power installation was caused by an act of vandalism. Testing has been ongoing of the town of Wayne's water supply. So far, all of the tests have been negative, but as a precaution, customers are still being advised to neither drink nor cook with the water as those tests continue. There's cleanup to do inside the idled Cleveland Cliffs tin mill at Weirton following a weekend fire. The blaze broke out Saturday during demolition when a torch ignited a plastic tank and caused a fire with heavy smoke to spread throughout the facility. You're listening to Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Who are the toughest men and women in southern West Virginia? It's the 46th annual Budweiser Tough Man Contest, co-sponsored by Dutch Miller Automotive Group, Fisher Auto Parts, Metro News Television, and Best Ambulance Service. Coming this Friday and Saturday to the Beckley-Raleigh County Convention Center at 7 p.m. Buy tickets at WVToughman.com, the Convention Center, or Renegade Pharmacy in Oceana. Pro Fight Saturday night featuring the pride of Wyoming County, undefeated Philip the Kid Fox.
Governor Patrick Morrisey wants the state to be producing 50 gigawatts of power by 2050, but a top planner with the power grid PJM says high transmission lines are a key part of that. And Dr. Sami Abdul-Salam told lawmakers last week West Virginia needs more.
If the infrastructure is not available, it will act as an impediment against or slowing down attracting new capital.
And Abdul-Salam says West Virginia's lack of that energy infrastructure is glaring. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
304 Talk 304 is the text line. Texter says, wash your hands and live your life. That works. That works, by the way. My wife was under the weather there for, almost a couple of weeks there with flu B. I bet I washed my hands 24 times a day. And it works. Knock on wood. Haven't got sick yet. Also, key when you're at the Capitol, meeting a bunch of people. Always wash your hands. 304 Talk 304 is the text line, 800-765-8255. Dave and TJ, FYI, there's a large group of current medical sales professionals that live in West Virginia that are in their 50s and 60s and would make great ambassadors for the state economic development. Civic leaders, says the texter.
Those guys can sell. They can. Hunters all the way. I know a lot of them. They can, man. They can sell. Not everyone can.
No. Oh, gosh, no. I couldn't do it, wouldn't want to do it. Be a salesman or have to go pitch. That's why I respect the sales industry. They're also weasels, but they're good people. Good morning, Dave and TJ. Do you know what they're building in Jackson County with all of the solar panels? Solar field? I don't know. We're at in Jackson County. Let me know.
I hadn't heard.
304 Talk. 304 is the text line. 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. Brad McElhenney joins us from the state capitol, where Brad is taking in lawmakers coming back for day 6 of the 60-day session. House Finance was meeting this morning. Brad, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, hi. Good morning. Yes. So you covered extensively the issue of Hancock County's school finances on Friday. That's a real disaster. And the issue continues today and is sloshing over into the legislature. This morning, on an emergency basis, the House Finance Committee took up one bill that would establish an emergency financial fund, essentially a bridge loan for counties that find themselves in Hancock County's position. At the moment, I think it's important to say we only know of Hancock County needing this kind of thing. There was a second bill that came out of House Finance that provides $8 million that could be available to counties that have contracts, that have employees that they need to pay, like Hancock County. And again, it's the only one right now that we know might need it. That passed out of House Finance after a lot of conversation with the state superintendent, as well as with Paul Hardesty, the president of the West Virginia State Board of Education. At this moment, as we speak, the full House floor is taking up those two bills. They are currently, they now have bill numbers, but they're going to take them up on an emergency basis. Typically, as you know, you can only consider legislation over 3 consecutive days. This is going to go today. As I was waiting to come on with you, they suspended the rules, and it's going to go today. Remains to be seen if there are any objections or prolonged debate about doing this. But nevertheless, it's the hot issue of the day, and it's unfolding now on the House floor. If you're listening, you should continue to listen to Dave and TJ, but maybe keep one eye on your YouTube on the West Virginia House of Delegates.
Brad, is this the bill Pat McGeehan had been talking about wanting to introduce?
Yeah, and he is of Hancock County, of course, represents communities in the area, the majority leader. So it was his duty on the floor today to bring up this bill and to bring up first the vote to suspend House rules to consider this 1, 2, 3 votes today rather than on 3 consecutive days.
Any safeguards in this bill around moral hazard? If there's always the option of getting bailed out time and time again, there's no incentive to really change your behavior. If you get this money, does the administration have to go as a result of taking the money? Any kind of safeguard to ensure, okay, we're going to bail you out this time, we're not going to do it again and again and again?
Well, I only learned about this bill 1 hour ago, but my understanding is it establishes this temporary shortfall supplement fund, making loans available to counties with reserve balances below 5% to ensure they can meet payroll and essential costs. And then, as efforts to maintain accountability, the legislation mandates strict financial reporting, requires the implementation of an electronic tracking system, and sets conditions for repaying the state. So still learning many of the details about this bill. It's probably being explained on the House floor right now. And, as part of the testimony in House Finance today, State Superintendent Michelle Blatt just said that the situation initially got past state eyes because Hancock County had not been in prior trouble. It was not considered a problem child in the past, but also there is now some emerging information that Hancock County's reporting to the state was minimal and perhaps deceptive.
MetroNews statewide correspondent Brad McElhenney joining us here on Metro News Talkline. And candidly, guys, just as you think about this, TJ, and what Paul Hardesty told us on Friday, yes, Hancock County is the problem child, if you will, at the moment, but this situation could arise again in the future, and we could see other county school systems need this, if you want to call it a bailout, I don't know if you want to call it a bailout, TJ, but need this bailout if they find themselves in this type of trouble, because you still have to pay teachers, you still have to pay bus drivers, you still have to educate kids even if the county's out of money.
5%, Brad, if I heard you correctly, 5% of your available fund balance, having that sounds too low to me, if I'm being candid. I mean, if I were running a business and I only had 5% of my annual spend in reserve, I'd be, I mean, 10, all right, we talk about it. To me, I worry about this having unintended consequences and allowing the counties to run a lower unencumbered balance to levy than what they already do. But, I mean, we have to pay teachers. And let's be frank. Paul said last week, Paul Hardesty, teachers are going to get paid. The State Department is going to front the county on their allocation. So they're going to be paid. But, we'll take a look at the bill, see the details. But, yeah, Dave, I really worry about unintended consequences on this. And I'm sure it is well-meaning. I get it. But, yeah, I just really, really worry about not having firm guide rails along how this is going to work and how to get the finances back on track, et cetera.
Brad, I'm sorry if I missed it. Was there anything in the bill? I know you just got the bill. Was there anything in the bill about if you're going to get this bailout, there's a required change of administration? Can the same people who screwed up the finances be in place and you still get this bailout money?
Mm-hmm. So that runs on a couple of tracks. I don't initially, at first blush, see what you're describing explicitly in the bill, but the superintendent and the chief financial officers in Hancock County have lost their jobs. The board members are elected officials, so there's nothing the state board can do to remove them from office. So I don't necessarily see a mandated removal in this bill.
MetroNews statewide correspondent Brad McElhenney joining us from the Capitol. Capitol Report brought to you by AARP, your ally for real possibilities in the Mountain State. Connect on social media at AARP West Virginia and learn more at aarp.org/WV. Brad, what else is going on?
Oh, well, I really need to divert my eye to the House floor session because I'm missing the discussion of this matter right now. But there are a slew of committee meetings this afternoon. Senate's coming in a little bit slower. We're going to get this week ramped up pretty quickly.
All right, Brad, we'll let you go so you can do your actual job. We appreciate you taking a few minutes. Thank you, buddy.
Hey, thanks.
MetroNews statewide correspondent Brad McElhenney. You like how he very politely told us, TJ, hey, I got to go. The House is in session.
That's what you call a graceful exit. I'll put it that way.
Well done.
Well played. What do you think about that, Bill? I mean, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but it gives me heartburn.
I understand where your heartburn is coming from. That's why I want to know if you are going to get this bailout, and maybe, I don't know if this is the safeguard or not you need, TJ, to cure your heartburn. But look, if you're going to get this bailout, then the people that caused the problem have all got to go, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So you can't have that as an insurance policy, if you will. If you're going to be a superintendent, you're going to be chief financial officer, treasurer, whatever your title is, you can't use that as an insurance policy because you're going to get fired. You're going to lose your job there. I don't know if that's enough of a safeguard to make you feel better, but that's certainly, I think it would have to be in there.
Well, I think you get a one-time shot too.
Yeah.
I would put that in. One-time shot. And I also think the 5% on the balances, I think that's probably too low because a lot of our schools, when you look at it, are already at that level. We need to give them a reason to want to be higher. So let's up that. Let's make it 10% perhaps, if that's doable, and put everything into a better financial condition. But I'll read the bill and see where we go.
Programming note, probably going to be reaching out for Pat McGeehan in the next 24 hours or so when we see him down in Charleston. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line, 800-765-8255, the phone number. Rest of the show is yours. We'll get to some text messages. Phone calls are always welcome as well. 800-765-TALK and 304-TALK 304. CityNet, built in West Virginia for West Virginia, is expanding fiber to more communities every day. Sign up now and get 50% off your first year of service. Visit citynet.net. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects. This is Talkline from the Encove Insurance Studios.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Since 1926, the West Virginia Hospital Association has been the collective voice of our state's hospitals. With a shared vision of strengthening communities, improving lives, and supporting our state's economic well-being, our member hospitals work every day to provide high-quality, accessible care. This year, we celebrate 100 years of a unified voice and our ongoing commitment to supporting our members in achieving a strong, healthy West Virginia.
A message from the West Virginia Hospital Association, online at wvha.org.
Coal-based generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
January 23rd is the annual Fairmont State University Day at the Capitol. We'll talk with lawmakers about Fairmont State's contribution to workforce development. We create academic programs that meets the state's workforce needs. We educate career-ready graduates, and nearly 80% of our students are native West Virginians. Many of these students remain in-state upon graduation, strengthening their communities. That's just one more way Fairmont State makes North Central West Virginia and the entire state a great place to call home.
You're listening to Talkline on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Poca Valley has proudly served the citizens of Roane, Kanawha, Putnam, and surrounding counties for over a century. As your trusted community bank, we're committed to building relationships and meeting your financial needs. And with the Poca Valley Visa card, you can enjoy competitive interest rates, no annual fees, and a rewarding points program, all from a bank you know and trust. Visit your local Poca Valley office to apply or call us. Poca Valley, where relationships matter. Member FDIC.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
I've had a complicated relationship with food. My job was to talk to heart failure patients about diet and exercise. I felt like, why would you listen to me? Because I was not following a diet that was healthy for me. I needed help. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 175 pounds. I feel like I'm free. They hold the skill, they hold the tools, and they're waiting for you to come say that you need the help.
Stike Wealth Enhancement Group is now Wealth Enhancement. We believe retirement starts with a plan. Saving for college starts with a plan. Your legacy starts with a plan. Do you have the right plan? Call our team at 304-443-4240 or email stike-info@wealthenhancement.com.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
304 Talk 304, the text line. Texter telling us those solar panels being built below Cottageville. Okay. We'll look into it. It's been a hot minute since I've been up Route 2. I assume that's where we are. My West Virginia geography is failing me right at the moment.
Well, I think you're right about that because you're going toward Cottageville and then it goes into, oh, jeez. I'm having the moment now, too.
Yep.
Millston, Mills, anyway.
You know what I think? Road trip.
I'll ask around. Somebody in my circle ought to know about that if they're building a solar field. We'll find out.
Texter says, really? A limb falling off? That must be tough. Laughing face emoji. Well, I said you should go to the doctor before the limb falls off. 304 Talk 304 is the text line. Let me see here. We got that one. 304 Talk 304. Y'all forgot to mention that the Hospital Association is the largest monopoly in the state, given their support of legislators to support Certificate of Need laws, says the texter. Look, hospitals employ a lot of people. A lot of good paying jobs in the healthcare industry. And it's not just nurses and doctors. There are a lot of good paying jobs in the healthcare industry.
And con is very tricky. There are a lot of angles to it. And I don't think healthcare is a truly free market. I'm comfortable saying that. I don't think it's a truly free market, especially when they're told what they're going to be paid by Medicare and Medicaid.
Mm-hmm. All right, get your whiteboard out here, TJ. Simple Google mathematics. 3,000 megawatt data center. 3,000 megawatt data center cost about $680 million to build. That can build a 3,000 megawatt gas power plant for about $800 million. So double their cost to do that. But supposedly these things are going to make tons. Let them pay for their own plant, says the texter. I think I got most of that right.
Let the data centers charge their users accordingly. And then ChatGPT, Google, Amazon, whoever, in their AI-driven products passes that along as a cost of doing business. That's really what this is about. If developers can trim their largest single cost when it comes to data centers, and that's energy, if they can do that, they're able to pass that along to their clients at a lower rate and be more attractive. And then the ChatGPTs of the world, the Amazons, the Googles, the whatever AI you use, can charge you $20 for ChatGPT Plus or GPT Plus instead of $30.
Let me ask you this question, TJ. Go. Ethan brought up that when the internet first came out, we weren't that old, but when the internet first came out, there was this thought that we needed these extra power plants, that needed this extra capacity. As it turned out, it wasn't needed. There were bankruptcies, et cetera, et cetera. Is there caution in the energy sector that the AI technology that requires the data centers is going to advance so quickly, the data centers become obsolete, and you know how long it takes to build a power plant, that by the time you get the plant built, it won't be necessary? Is there any concern there?
Extreme concern. And that's why you see most of the utilities who want a take-or-pay contract on these things. If they're going to have to build new generation, they want the data center company to be on the hook for it. EEI, which is the Edison Electric Institute, it is the DC trade group for all of the country's largest utilities. They came out on Friday, minutes after the Trump administration dropped this, and said, absolutely, behind it 100%, this is how this should go. Because they don't want to be stuck. Because they know that if they get stuck, they being the utilities, they'll go to the commissions to recover what's called stranded costs. That's what a power plant that you build that has no use is. And they know that a lot of commissions will deny recovery of that. And their shareholders will have to eat it. And they're going to do everything they can, I think prudently so, to ensure that the data centers are on the hook for this and not ratepayers and not them.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes, and I know we have simplified it to the nth degree, but if you're going to use the power, if you require it as a customer, you pay for it. That just makes sense to me.
It's like asking your neighbor to pay for building and paving your driveway. I mean, seriously, that's about as simple as I can make it. Yeah. Who would do that?
I'd love for my neighbor to pave my driveway.
Well, out of the goodness of their heart.
Yeah,
maybe,
sure.
But, times are tough, Dave. You must have really, really well-off neighbors.
But I'm not, out of the goodness of our hearts, do I want to build a power plant for a data center? I get it.
Go.
It's a good comparison. All right, got to take a final break. Back to wrap things up. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Principal Greg Dosh of MTech.
Thanks to funding in part from West Virginia Lottery proceeds, we're expanding MTech with a new STEM edition.
Across West Virginia, opportunities like these are made possible when you play, helping to ensure more students can discover their future right here at home. For 40 years, proceeds from the West Virginia Lottery for education have totaled $4.1 billion. West Virginia Lottery, 18 plus to play responsibly.
Coal-based generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
Hospitals drive West Virginia's economy. They produce jobs and create opportunities while keeping our communities healthy. Employing nearly 54,000 people, West Virginia hospitals rank among our state's largest and most dependable employers. They provide more than $1 billion in community benefits and generate nearly $17 billion in total economic impact each year. Hospitals are investing where it counts, advancing health, ensuring access to care, and powering West Virginia's economic future.
A message from the West Virginia Hospital Association, online at wvha.org.
Metallurgical coal builds the world, and the Met Coal Producers Association is the network that makes it possible. The MCPA unites America's met coal producers, giving members a powerful voice in policy, partnership, and progress. Producers, suppliers, and innovators come together here to build relationships, drive growth, and strengthen our industry. Join today. Visit metcoal.com. Met Coal makes it possible. MCPA makes it personal.
You're listening to Talkline on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Across West Virginia, hospitals are always here, healing, helping, and standing strong for our communities. Hospitals save lives and build livelihoods. They're among our largest employers, with a passionate workforce of 54,000 West Virginians. Hospitals are economic drivers, contributing close to $17 billion to our state's economy and working to ensure access to care for all. From life-saving moments to wellness support, West Virginia hospitals keep our state healthy, our families strong, and our future bright.
On the next State of Minds.
People appreciate cool tattoos and they appreciate good tattoos. It's a way to make yourself different.
What do you think would fit me?
I think a ninja. A ninja with two swords.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at wvhtf.org.
Trojan Landing Marine is now Charleston's newest power sports dealership.
We now feature a full line of sleek Suzuki street bikes and four-wheelers. We're now offering the innovative riding experience of Benda motorcycles. The next step in motorcycle evolution with all-electric Zero high-performance bikes. We've now got Segway vehicles starting as low as $10,000. Come in and check out our great selection of high-quality Benelli and Royal Enfield bikes. Visit Trojan Landing in Charleston, now your water, road, and dirt dealership.
Friend of the show, Amelia Nicely, tweeting that school's bailout bill did pass the House of Delegates. Now they're suspending rules for a bill that would make a supplemental appropriation of $8 million from the unappropriated surplus to the State Board of Education for Hancock County schools to make payroll. They don't need all $8 million in Hancock County, but that is the bill. Amelia tweeting that out. The Lotto America jackpots start at $2 million and grow until someone takes it home. Drawings happen every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday with the 9 ways to win. Even a smaller prize can feel like a big win. Just $1 to play in-store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Current jackpot's $13.09 million. Get your chance at manageable millions. See you from the state capitol tomorrow. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.